All right, Detroit Lions fans, we back. Let's get back into it. I don't want to waste too much time with this because I want to make sure that y'all don't miss the message. It's very clear. Just stay put and just be patient. I'm gonna walk you through this. Okay, we're gonna get through this together. So for all my Stafford haters, I ask you this question: how is it possible for a player to be getting so much hate when he has not been given all the things he needs to win? And before you start naming wide receivers, let's go and talk about how many times he's been sacked. Okay, let's talk about his offensive line. Please go in my comment section and tell me who is the offensive lineman that you thought Matthew Stafford had in his 10 years that was great, that could possibly be a Hall of Famer, that can possibly be something special. If any other quarterback was on any other team, had the numbers that Matthew Stafford had, he would be talked about so differently. Okay? And that brings me to my next point. I don't never hear anybody saying, oh, the Saints lost because of Drew Brees in the playoffs. They saying the referees blew it, as if though Drew Brees didn't have any part in there. They forget that, yeah, that was a blown call that could have possibly ended the game, even though they had 2 timeouts. They forget that the head coach of the Saints called a pass play on first down instead of trying to kill time and get them to burn timeouts. They forget that they got the ball first in overtime. They forget that Drew Brees threw an interception in overtime. But scratch that. I didn't hear nobody blame Drew Brees when the Saints lost to the Dallas Cowboys, where he threw a straight ugly pick. Okay? And I'm leaving it on the screen so you can see this. For all the people who think Tom Brady is out here winning these games by himself, I want you to understand something. He has had rushing attacks. They may not have been with the most notable name people, but they have been running the ball. They're running the ball this year. Okay? So before people start saying, well, what about his win-loss record? Well, he ain't won no playoff game. Tell me this. Anybody, go in my comment section and tell me, when has Matthew Stafford had a coach that you thought was good enough to win a playoff game? Tell me that. Tell me who's the coach that you thought was good enough to win the playoff game. Here go another fun fact for you. Okay, since 1989, the Detroit Lions' best record is 12-4. That was in 1991. Okay, the second best record is 11-5, which is on to Matthew Stafford. That's the season he was in. But those records do not mean anything for a quarterback, because wins and losses are a team stat. It goes on everybody. But they just want to put it on the quarterback. That's not what's happening here, people. Okay? Let me ask you this. If the quarterback play is so great, then tell me this. How does the LA Rams beat the Dallas Cowboys and they quarterback don't throw no touchdown? Okay? And I think he had like 170-something yards. Okay? They don't throw no touchdowns, but at the end of the day, I did notice that this quarterback sat up there and handed the ball off for 273 yards. The Kansas City Chiefs, when they won their playoff game, okay, they ran the ball. They quarterback didn't throw a touchdown either. Okay? But we keep on giving win-loss records. Now, people may say, well, how can you say that, Luke? How can you say that the win-loss record shouldn't be to the quarterback? Because this ain't golf. This ain't tennis. This ain't bowling. This football. And if you don't have the team around you to win, it just boils down to just that. Period. You have to have a rushing attack. Fun fact, all the teams that won the playoff this year led in time of possession, and they led in the rushing category. They led in rushing attempts. This is a problem that I see too often teams don't understand. You put the ball in the hands of the quarterback and want him to make what's really not a high percentage play and pass it. Too many things can go wrong between the ball leaving the quarterback's hand and going to the receiver. And before somebody say, well, you know, how do you know that they didn't set it up by throwing the ball down there and then turning around and running it in? Because the evidence don't support that. You don't get 273 rushing yards passing the ball. You don't. You got to run it. Do anybody realize that the New England Patriots against the Kansas City Chiefs ran the ball 47 times? Do anybody realize that the New England Patriots threw the ball 46 times and that Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions to 1 touchdown? And whether you want to credit those interceptions to Tom Brady or not, the fact is there was 2 turnovers at the quarterback position that's going on him. But they ran that ball. You know who didn't run that ball? The Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, you know how they made it through this season? Running that ball. You think Patrick Mahomes was not able to do what he was doing because of the run? You're kidding yourself. Okay? Now, for all you Matthew Stafford haters, okay, let's take a look at what his passing ranking is right here. 1, 2, 3. All right, so he's had 3 top 5 passing games. He's had 3, 4, 5. 5 top 10. 6 top 6, 7. 7 top 15. Okay, so when y'all sitting there saying, oh, passing's going to get it done, it's not, because Matthew Stafford has been the only reason they're even getting close to winning games. He, like I said before in the previous video, he's less than 5%. And here go another thing I've been hearing people say. Okay, oh, he out of excuses. He on his 4th offensive coordinator. Well, here's a news flash for you. How many coordinators has Tom Brady had? How many coordinators did Peyton Manning have? You know how crazy the idea that it's an indictment on Matthew Stafford because he's on the 4th offensive coordinator? Let's be honest here. He's on the 4th offensive coordinator because the other 3 were bad. And if any Lion fan want to argue with me that that's not true, then I know for a fact you don't know football. Okay? But let's just go ahead and point these facts out. How many has Tom Brady had? And I know somebody's going to say, yeah, but he's won Super Bowls. Yeah, he has the best coach in NFL history. Okay? The best coach. You don't believe me? Look at this. Look at this. They went 9-7 one time. Okay? They've consistently had 10 wins or more. That's head coaching. That's coaching. Okay? That is coaching. For all you people who want to sit there and say, well, Matthew Stafford sucked this season. Here go Aaron Rodgers this season. He had the 22nd rush attack compared to the 23rd rushing attack of Matthew Stafford. He had the 9th passing attack compared to the 20th passing attack. And his record is 6-9-1. And let me just be clear that 2 of his losses came against the Detroit Lions. Now, mind you, I say 2 of his losses, not saying that those wins and losses go on him, but the Green Bay Packers lost. And they had a passing attack in the top 10. Okay? Before people start sitting there saying that Matthew Stafford is padding stats, I want you to think about this. If Matthew Stafford is padding stats in garbage time, then that's amazing. To put those kind of numbers up in garbage time, imagine what he can do if you actually gave him a run game and he can do in good play calling in non-garbage time. Imagine that. Okay? You Lions fans are killing me softly. Y'all gotta put more respect on this man's name. Okay? Here go another way to look at this. Okay? when y'all talking about wins and losses, we're going to take a look at Trent Dilfer. Okay? All right? We are on Pro Football Reference. Okay? This is Trent Dilfer. Everybody know he was the quarterback of the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, one of the greatest defenses in NFL history. He played in 11 games, started 8, okay? Threw for 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. You gonna tell me that this guy is better than Matthew Stafford? You gonna tell me that the quarterback makes or break a team's win-loss record for real? There are bigger fish to fry here, people. There's running the ball, there's defense, which brings me back to my next point. Let's go take a look at the Super Bowl winners and losers. I want y'all to pay attention that on this side right here, let me scroll up. On this side right here, these are all the losers. These is the passing rankings. Let's look at all the teams with the passing rankings who lost. Second place Patriots, third place Falcons. All these teams lost. Okay? I got this chart to show you that there was 5 teams that won who's in the top 5 rushing. I'm sorry, 7. 7 teams in the top 5 rushing won the game. 10 teams that was in the top 10 times that it was 10 times where teams were in the top 10 rushing that won the game. 12 who were in the top 15 and 15 who was in the top 20. When it comes to passing, 7 for the top 5, 10 for the top 10, 16 for the top 15, and 17. Now you may be thinking, well, those are even numbers, but I want to show you the losers over here. Okay? Notice the difference between the losers on the top 5 and the top 7. There's a 3-point margin there. That's huge when you look at the scheme and number of people. We're talking 21 years. 21 years. 4 teams in the top 5 of rushing have lost compared to the 10 teams in the top 5 of passing that has lost. So if 10 teams were in the top 5 passing have lost, that's crazy. That's crazy. So when y'all get to talking, I'm going to leave this up so y'all can look at it. Look at the winners. They go to years. Okay? He go to rankings. Look at their defensive rankings. Look at the winners' defensive rankings and their rushing rankings. Eagles were 3rd in rushing, 4th in defense, compared to their opponent who was 10th and 5th. Okay? When you come to the Falcons versus the Patriots were 7th and 1st. They were 5th in rushing, okay, but 27th in defense. So they got exposed. That's how they give up all them points at the end of the game. I want these Stafford haters to put some respect on his name. I'm going to let y'all look at this for a minute because I want y'all to be able to see how many teams are not winning based on passing. They're running the ball. Okay? The quarterback job is to do exactly what most people say, like which is manage the game. But we somehow contribute that to being a bad thing for Matthew Stafford. All right, now I'm gonna be right back with part 3 to sum this all up. I know people gonna probably get impatient and say, "Man, you need 3 parts." Yes, I did, because I gotta bring this home. So we'll be right back with part 3. Just hold tight, Pride Nation, and we're finna get right back at this.